Yeah. Once again, mate, congratulations on the win yesterday. Absolutely awesome run.
Yeah,
Big
thanks,
ups, man,
boys.
honestly.
Appreciate all the kind words and support.
Did you have a good day?
It's kind of a whirlwind, you know. You sort of just go there going, "Oh yeah, at least I'm playing a deck that I love." If it all goes to shit,
You've
you
been
know.
bashing that
No
deck as
dramas.
long as I can remember. Back at
Yeah, I've been on it since set 2, off and on, depending on the meta. It's not a deck that you can just bring to any meta.
yeah, 100%.
It has strengths and weaknesses, but in the right circumstances, it can be incredibly strong and effective. And I thought the Melbourne PQ would be one of those days when a lot of people are playing Data Vault. It's good into the Data Vault meta. Data Vault decks can be quite trade consistency for 3 health, and that works in my favour. It's good into Sabine. Quinlan Tarkentown's a bit tougher, but winnable. It's 50-50. Cad Tarkentown and Kylo Tarkentown are awful.
Anything Tarkentown can suck, because if you're cheating out before they've deployed, used it, then you almost want to pay them.
No deck you can bring to a tournament where you just think, right, I can win every. I'm favoured into every matchup. You're gonna have to take some losses somewhere to a couple of, or 1 or 2 decks that, hopefully they're in the minority, which Kyle Tarkentown and Cad Tarkentown I expected to be in the minority. But I mean, the Cad Tarkentown is piloted by one of the best players in Vic, in Chris Palmer. So yeah, that's
Another person who's been grinding out a list for a very long time.
Yeah, correct. He has, and he knows that deck inside out. And and I just thought I'd take what I thought a deck that I pilot really well and feel really comfortable with. And if you're going to play nine games, you may as well do it with a deck that you enjoy playing, because it's a bit of a slog, especially into the more control-orientated matchups, or the sort of like the Ray Data Vault decks. They can be a bit of a slog especially if they get a bit of restore in. The game can stretch out a bit, so yeah.
So it's turn 2 and I'm already pretty wide. I've got a Sabine Wren on board, the Maz Kanata with experience, and Battlefield Marine. I haven't had to cheat yet. This is
I will say,
spicy.
I also mulliganed into no turn 1 play, so that was in fact an awful time.
Oh yeah.
I'm trying to think of what I want to mull here.
No turn 1 play into the Vader Weenie deck. That is rough.
Yeah, it was just not a good time.
Just got an ad currently populating my Twitch.
Yep.
So I'll wait till that disappears, and I'll be able to see the game that you're streaming. There we go. That's better.
Okay.
Put it bigger. So there we go. Yeah, the Maz Kanata engine is real.
Oh yeah.
Vader 4. It's probably not a good Vader 4 Han, but with Petronarchy, you never know what sort of pilot you're going to get. So, here we go. They bounced. Oh, poor old Maz. But,
now, if you can talk us through this one, because I've got my assumption, but if I were to ECL, spoiler alert, Poe Dameron here, can I ECL that as an X-Wing upgraded?
I've never.
No, you cannot.
I
wouldn't have thought so.
The thing about it is, when you're...
it has to be played as a unit to then move, The
unit could ECL and kill something, and then it'll attach.
Yeah, you can ECL it as a unit and an ambush, because they're both when played abilities. and then attach it after the fact, but you've got nothing you can ambush it into.
Yeah.
I mean, the hand you got is pretty good in other matchups, just not great into Vader 4. You like when I was playing Dave, game 1, I tried to do my own thing. It wasn't a strategy I wanted to play, but I had a good hand that's good into, you know, sort of most matchups, just not great into Vader 4. And I just got steamrolled. No, he hit the nuts. He hit the nuts. He hit that that 4-cost ship that's 3/3 and gets +1 for all your
Clone Squadron.
other
Yeah.
yeah. That, and then you go overwhelming barrage, and it's like, oh shit. So I had to go with a control strategy against Dave in games 2 and 3, and that worked a treat. And was the right strategy. Doesn't mean you have. I mean, you can still win without that strategy. You're just hoping that he doesn't deploy. He doesn't hit the cards he needs, because he's also got the deck. Also runs no good to me dead as well, which can slow you down. Jeez. That Maz is doing some work.
I love it. I love it.
Attack,
and
yeah.
being able, I see that line because I thought about it when I saw you playing yesterday, is to be able to cheat out Poe, do the 2 damage, get him out early, and then X-wing him, and he has no damage on him is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's such a wild play, honestly.
It's just great, and it's in an arena which is that it's not as heavily contested, so 4-5 in space is worth its weight in gold. And against the Raid Artivolt decks, it was even better. Because
So I think this is pretty much game here.
Yeah.
Oh!
I can at least get rid of Maz. Make me feel a little bit better about it. Yeah, having no turn 1 play just killed it dead in the water. I think. I had a turn 1 play, and then for some reason I chose to mulligan out of it.
Oh, yeah, that's not good.
Yeah.
Bit of a rough one there.
That deck goes very wide, very quick.
Yeah, it does. I mean, you can play 2 units on turn 1, 2 units on turn 2, and all of a sudden you've got 4 units. And against decks like Sabine, ECL, if they're trying to save their ECL for a Poe and don't burn their ECL to try and get tempo back, they can really just steamroll Sabine. Well, if they go space, like some of my Sabine opponents did in game 1, yeah, they just think that they can put a pilot on the ship and keep swinging for 6 and win the game. They give up the ground arena, and you can just take full advantage of that. And like if you get a heroic renegade and a 501st, you've got 6 damage turn 2. So yeah.
So I was having a read over your notes. I thought there's a lot to digest, but I think in particular, I think by far your toughest match of the day probably was Kylo Tarkentown, if I'm correct, the 1 loss.
100% it was, yeah. And I had to concede that coming into the event, that hopefully Peter wasn't playing that, but most people tend to fall back to decks that they've had a lot of reps with for, you know, comfort and for a big event. You know, when it's a big slog, 9 games, if you're going to go all the way, playing the deck that you love can be worth its weight in gold, because it comes a lot easier and it's less mental stress.
It seems to me that it's just a tough matchup, because you've mentioned that the Daring Rays were putting in work, Migs was discarding. Yeah, it's a lot to be able to... In Tarkentown, yeah. He's got so much that can be dealing damage to you to really like shut off that part of your game. So wouldn't cheat. You'd have to play on regular curve.
Yeah, you have to be.
Tough.
You have to be thinking what you're trying to cheat out. Yeah, and use your ECL Poda, because you put Fall on Lightsaber on Kylo too, and that can be quite difficult to deal with.
Mm.
I mean, I did draw well into in games 2 and 3 into the stuff I wanted, like the space ships that I needed to interact with Dave, which meant I could play the, do the game plan that I wanted, which was to play the more control route, control his swarm in space.
So another question that I had, and we talked about it a little bit last night, was the choice of going Darksaber in the list. Is that just better stats wise than generals? Is that why that choice was made?
So here you just ECL that Sabine Masterpiece, take out that 3/2, and then put the 1 damage on the token.
Oh yeah, of course.
And then put the 1+1 on the Sabine Masterpiece to make it a 4/4.
I know what I'm doing with Sabine cards.
You're a Sabine expert, come on.
Only because I play against it so much.
That's very true.
I totally forgot that I could give myself the experience.
Yeah.
Oh, I stuffed up the order of that. I'm so sorry.
No, that's totally fine. Do it that way. Just leave it that way. That's all good.
No.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay.
Okay.
Time's a charm.
I'm ambushing to that one. And then...
No, you gotta do the triggers first, don't you, on attack? Oh.
Choose the
Not sure
unit
how
to
it works
give the
out there.
experience. I'm giving the experience here and dealing... There we go.
Are you guys playing?
Yeah, we're live on Twitch, Sam.
Oh,
But going back to your previous question about the Darksaber versus General Blade. I mean, General Blade is definitely not awful. It's only just a very small difference, really, in essence. But I think the main thing was that you could get the 7 attack on the Han with the Darksaber.
Yeah.
And you could kill out Quinlan if you needed to, or a Luke, unit with it in 1 hit, if that ends up happening.
Yeah, because you would deploy the same turn as Quinlan, played your saber and one-shot it. And you live. Yeah. It's definitely valued. Being able to cheat Poe seems pretty good here too. Like, it's out before he's got any upgrades out, which I love.
It puts a ton of pressure on your opponent. They're like, oh fuck, how do I deal with that? And then they have to waste resources into killing it. And then it works great when you can follow it up with another Poe.
I like this.
Yeah. It's just a great unit, great stats. It's always different when you're trying to do it on this, isn't it? I know how to do it in person, but on the... Yeah, hang on, I didn't mean to do that. You'll probably get rid of Wrecker, I reckon, maybe.
I did choose to discard 2, so I'm thinking I probably want to see that one go. It's got its value. Deal the 2 here. Yeah. Look at that pressure. Probably could have just even done the 2 to base, now that I think about it.
Yeah, possible.
I have to admit, it's been pretty well played curve by Joshy. Like, he's done everything I would have expected to see. Whoop.
Yeah.
In a Vader yellow list.
Gotta play attack. Yeah.
Doing everything I'm trying to, that's the issue. Not much else I can do.
And
He could have just taken an initiative and just swung for the win, but
I'm scared of seeing OB here. I do not want to see an overwhelming barrage right now.
I mean, OB wouldn't make too much of a difference, to be fair.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
best I
you have
can
to
do
get rid of lethal from the Poe. That's something, but yeah.
is that's the only main thing. But there's still lethal on the board, regardless of Poe or not.
GG.
GG.
Damn, that list is fun.
Very strong.
It's like Sabine, except better, and not like Sabine at all.
It's like Sabine, but it's not Sabine.
I played Quinlan Tarkin Town today, and it definitely felt like a downgrade from what I was playing. They're going, where's my fucking ECL?
I see Sabine's masterpiece and Hero Red Green, and I think Sabine. Well, there's the list. I'm bringing that up on stream now. If there's anything else you wanted to talk about, Rodders, I think another question I had was the scanning officer. Actually, is that in for Quinlan and Han matchup specifically?
Yeah, it's in there mostly for Quinlan, but also good for Han. It's hard to predict the meta. I thought there'd be more Quinlans than there were. I mean, this is not my list. It's the Swoop Racers, who are a couple of European players. They have a YouTube channel called the Swoop Racers, and I tuned into them back in set 2, and they brought this deck to my attention back then, and I've been following ever since. And but this is Sip. His name is Mikolaj from Poland, a Polish player, and his teammate Betten. I don't know I can't remember his actual name, but it's their deck, it's their baby. I just made a couple of minor changes just for my personal preferences. I put a heroic sack. I took out the crate dragons, which maybe I should have kept in, but for the raid Artivolt decks, but it might have probably been better than the choose sides. But I end up taking them out and putting heroic sack and the gorilla attack pod into the sideboard, and putting in an additional patrol wing, which was performed really well for me in the tournament. And I put in another Darksaber, which also worked exceptionally well too, because there wasn't much in the way of Quinlan's. A bit of a counter, isn't it? Put Scanning Officer to improve the matchup against Quinlan, and then you've got Darksabers, which can be a little bit of a liability if they're doing bamboozles and Fang Fighters. But I do like 3 Sabers. I used to play 3 Sabers in the past into HAN2 ECL, because they don't expect a Saber on Han. That's the last thing they expect to someone who's not familiar with the deck. So it's a real surprise factor. They're not gonna. I mean, unless they know unless they played me previously and they like an Andrew. I play tested this back into his Sabine a lot in the past, so he knows that I do run Sabers in the past, so you would expect that. But most players that haven't really seen this deck, it has a real surprise factor, and it's very good into the Data Vault decks, because the extra 10 cards can cause inconsistency with draws. So they, like the raid Artivolt decks had 3 Lukes and 3 home ones, but when you're trying to get it from 60 cards, it's less likely to hit. And sometimes when I'm putting pressure on them early, they have to resource those Lukes and home ones that they do draw early. to deal with my board. Otherwise, they just get steamrolled. So yeah, did perform really well. I played 2 Ray Data Vaults and a Boss Data Vault. And Boss Data Vault game 1, he got 2 overwhelming barrages off, and he still lost.
Oh,
so
it's rough.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you've had the chance to actually see it or not yet. But simultaneously to your PQ win, there was also another HAN2 ECL that won in Poland. So it must have been one of the players.
SIP.
SIP.
That was SIP. So shout out to Team Enigma. SIP is part of their team. Thork, he's the, I think he might be the team leader. And they've got a Discord channel, which I encourage everyone to join. Yeah, and they're very much SIP and betting with the swoop races. That's just their baby. Back in set 2. But the Americans, I don't know, they do things differently. They didn't really pay a lot of attention to this deck, so it's very much an off-meta deck anywhere, but in Europe, I think it's a little bit more popular in Europe at various stages. But outside of Europe, it's very much an off-meta deck. Very strong in the right circumstances. Not good into the Django meta that was Tarkin Town and exhaust your whole board.
Luckily, we're not there anymore.
Thank goodness we're not there anymore. Exactly, because the good thing about the Melbourne PQ, the meta was very, very healthy. A lot of different decks. It was a lot of fun just seeing what everyone brought along. Everyone was playing something different. There was quite a little bit of Vader 4s. I think that was definitely on the rise.
Yeah, I don't think that's off meta anymore. That might be pushing its way to B tier now. And possibly A.
It's definitely A tier. But maybe it drops down when people know how to interact with it better.
Bombing run. Everyone put bombing run in your list if you run red.
Oh, grenade strike maybe.
Grenade strike's good too. Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, decks are a lot more effective when people have to think on the spot, and don't have much of it. Like when Dave won his PQ against a Han Yellow. Like normally the Han Yellow works pretty good into Gar Saxon, but the guy that Dave got paired against had no idea about Gar Yellow, and it definitely gave David an advantage, which he took. Was able to use that to steer his way to victory, but I guess it's a little bit similar to my opponents on my run to winning. They look at the list and go, "Oh shit, I've seen a lot of things I don't like." But it's not something that they come prepared for, so it does give me the advantage matchup wise. I know more about their decks than I know about mine, but it wasn't always the case. I haven't really put much thought into Ray Data Vault. I just thought I'd steamroll those.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Sweet, awesome. We really appreciate your time, Rodders. Once again, congrats on the win. Fun list. Keep at it, mate.
Yeah, no, thanks, boys, and encourage you to play around with it and have a bit of fun with it. It's definitely a very fun deck to play. Nothing like cheating out a Poe Dameron on 4 resources, and then ECL, and once they deal with that, ECL another Poe on 5 resources.
It's a Poe party.
It's a Poe. Poor Hungarian Sam down at Turn Order was quite frustrated, and he said that card was very unfair, and I think he wasn't too happy when I cheated out the first one, and then he packed up in the second game. When I played the second one, and then game 2 he packed up when I played the first Poe. So yeah.
Oh,
He's and he performed exceptionally well. I can understand the frustrations because pulling out a PO and killing 3 units is feels quite brutal.
that's the power of the toolbox. That's just what happens when everything
Yeah.
aligns well.
I mean, I copped
Personally,
it. I copped it from Knackers as well. He ECR'd out a PO. It took an experience token off the blue leader to kill it because it had 1 health left. 2 damage to kill. I think it might have been a Sabine Wren, and then PO into something else to kill another unit. It's just insane. Sorry, Josh, you were saying?
nah, that's all good. Real question: are you going to keep on HAN2 for now, or are you looking at New Horizons after the PQ?
Look, I mean, it's definitely something in my toolbox. But you always got to have a look at something else. Sometimes it can be a bit refreshing to just like try something new. But I'll be definitely revisiting it again. But I was kind of tempted to play Vader for yellow, to be honest. I was
Yeah,
just
right.
interested, but it sounds like everyone's playing that deck. But yeah, I'm just looking to. I'll be looking to just try something else, just to keep things fresh and interesting. I think this deck isn't like something you can just bring everywhere. It works better when people aren't prepared for it. 100%.
Definitely. What would your top 3 picks for a new leader to run post PQ be?
Mm, top 3 picks.
Mhm.
Good question. Vader 4. I've
Yep.
got a Vader 4 showcase. So I'd like to explore that. I guess I haven't really put much thought into it past that. I wouldn't mind trying some of the pilot leaders, but gee, it's so brutal when Poe and disabling Fang fighters and confiscate can remove their leaders off the
Mm.
table.
Pilots
I
are in
know,
a
yeah,
Yeah, they're just in such an unfortunate spot where everything just turns them off straight away. You've got your confiscates, you've got disabling fang fighters,
yeah.
your pose.
I did that to poor Dave. I'd killed his Vader with a disabling Fang fighter, and that just felt, just grossly unfair. I think things will get better for pilots once the confiscates and disabling Fang fighters rotate, but
Mm.
that'll be a little while. But it's going back to your original question, definitely I like Vader 4. I haven't, and I like the colors. I like yellow, green, black. I played Django Green last set, and I really enjoyed playing that. Being able to ramp into early Django and then play now there are 2 of them into an early Maul was
Yeah.
brutal, and then go and then get an overwhelming barrage, and then just pack up after that. Yeah. Um, but maybe Han 4. I think Han 4 Lake Country did some work at the PQ, so
Yeah,
that's
I think
worth
that was
exploring.
one of the contenders for top 8, I think. I think he
Yeah.
actually came 9th.
So look, I think there's something worth exploring with that, and I do have a nice showcase, so extra incentive there.
Mm.
Outside of that, I'm not a control player, so that narrows my options down a little bit. I'm more in the tempo, aggro to mid range at
Yep.
my slowest, but oh, maybe even a Luke pilot. I don't know. Maybe that might be crazy, but I'd like to see what maybe a Poe pilot, one of those other hero
Mm.
pilots.
I do really
Maybe
feel
explore that.
that Luke Pilot has a lot of legs, actually. It's a very
Yeah,
decent aggro deck. Maybe not as good as something like a Sabine aggro or a Kylo, but I do think he stands up against some of the other matchups like that.
I think Boba for yellow has some legs as well. It's just no triple duck raid kind of hurts, but
Oh, definitely.
might be something worth exploring there. But
Mm.
yeah, with all these pilot leaders, it's just the confiscates and disabling Fang fighters. It's just
That's
so
just it.
brutal. And then you've got to worry about stuff like traitorous. I don't think you can traitorous a leader though. But yeah, but I mean that was people were putting a lot of people putting traitorous in their sideboard for Han Green for when they pilot a 3-cost ship. You know, you just steal it with the
Yeah,
traitorous.
chucking on the stuff like a Chewie on a Falcon, then just traitorous it up. I had that in my Vader deck very early on when Wade and I were testing, right before the set actually dropped, and I think he just realized that the Falcon was a terrible idea against the deck. Every time he just upped it up, and I said, "Thank you, that's mine. Let's do 10 to base."
Poor Wade.
It was it was certainly a fun time, and if Wade's still in chat, he probably is swearing my head off. But
Yeah, he still has nightmares from when I put the dark saber on R2. It's like, well, what? How is that possible?
just like a little chopper running at you with the bloody war crimes.
Yeah, it's a 5/7 on attack. Can look at the well, scry. I call it scry, but it's, look at the filter your deck. But the old
Yeah.
magic terminology.